The Madden MCS pros don't want you to know these 3 tips about how to stop RPOs. What's going on? I'm Colt45 with the Virtual Lab Partner, and in today's video, we're gonna show you the keys and tactics that you need to be using to stop any RPO out there in the Madden streets. Tactic number 1 is understanding leverage. Too many times have we gotten caught in a bad spot against these trips tight end bubble routes where we've got no leverage. So let's go ahead and go over how to fix that. So in this example, we are out here in a trips tight end offset formation on the offensive side of the ball. Now, this is a formation that a lot of folks use as far as meta, and they've got this really nice play to where they've got an RPO to where they can either hand the ball off for an inside zone, or they can pass it out to that bubble screen where they've got 2 blockers out there to be able to block downfield. Now, unfortunately, with this type of alignment on the defensive side of the ball, it really puts us in a bind, because when we actually hike this ball, you can see that we've got really, really bad leverage from the defensive standpoint. So to be able to fix this alignment, you're going to want to come out base aligned in your coach adjustments. What this is gonna do is ensure that the targeting from the wide receivers on the trip side of the ball cannot get to the defender that is actually supposed to be going after the bubble route. And now, as you can see on the field, this player is normally, when they are not base aligned, aligned way out here. And with that, you can see that that slot wide receiver, the number 2, Puka Nacua, is gonna have a good chance of blocking him. But now that we are actually base aligned, he is all the way in here with nobody to be able to block him, which gives us the perfect leverage to be able to get to the ball carrier. Okay, let's go ahead and run through a rep here. And now you're gonna see with that baseline that our defender is there to be able to get to the bubble screen earlier. Hey there, this is Colt45 with a mid-video intermission. If you're enjoying today's content, please subscribe to the channel and drop a like and leave a comment on if there's any RPOs that you're struggling with and that this helps you out. And as we can see in the instant replay, guys, you can see because we have nobody that's blocking our outside linebacker, he has free range to be able to get to that bubble screen without anybody trying to block him. And this is all because of that baseline coach setting. So please put this on if you are going up against an RPO spammer. Now you're probably wondering, you've got the pass down, but what about the run? And that's where we get to tip number 2, and that is the placement of your user to be able to stop the run. Now that we know that we have to have ourselves on baseline to give ourselves a good chance against the bubble screen part of this RPO, now we have to make sure that we've got our user in the right spot. For me, I like to actually put my user over here on the opposite side of the halfback, because that gives us a really, really nice lane here to be able to shoot for any sort of inside zone or outside zone type of run. So pairing the baseline with the placement of your user is going to be key here. Let's go ahead and run through a rep here, knowing that we'll be able to shoot the gap and be able to get to the halfback. Now, I'm glad that this actually happened, because even when you're shooting the gap, you notice how, because of the placement of your user, it actually allows you to be able to get yourself either picked up, allowing the defensive end to come in free, or you'll be able to shoot that gap freely with nobody touching you. And in this case, we've got our defensive end shooting the gap nice and free and getting to the tackle. Now, let's go ahead and get a second rep in where I can show you that shooting the gap is a lot easier than you think. We'll go ahead and hike the ball here, and you're gonna see that as long as you have that user in the right spot, it's golden. And if you remember back in the first rep, we were able to get the defensive end free, but with this rep, because we got ourselves in the right placement, look at that gap shoot right there, guys. It is easy, easy, easy. And what's even better about this is, check this out. We've got our outside linebacker and our corner all rallying to the bubble part of this screen. And finally, let's go ahead and go over one mechanic that'll actually change the way that your players play on these RPOs. Now, you're probably wondering, why the pass commit mechanic? Well, if you put both of the first 2 tips together with the baseline and making sure that your user is in the right spot to take care of the run portion of the RPO, then you should have no worries with using that mechanic, the pass commit one, to be able to ensure that all of your guys are flying to the ball when that pass is thrown in the RPO option. So we're gonna run one rep right here to where we are not going to pass commit, and I want to show you exactly what happens with your outside linebacker right here, who is supposed to be guarding the bubble, and what happens with him when you don't pass commit. So we're gonna go ahead and hike the ball here, and I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get the run portion of this, but let's go to the instant replay to show you what happened. All right, let's go ahead and key in on our outside linebacker, who is in the base align alignment to ensure that he can get to that bubble portion of the RPO. And then right in front of him, we've got Bobby Wagner, our user. He's the one that's gonna be shooting the gap and pairing with number 73, our defensive end, to ensure that we can get to the inside zone portion of this. But when we don't pass commit, let's watch this outside linebacker and see what he does. Do you see that slight hesitation with him going directly to that RPO? He's all out of sorts here. I mean, he is just kind of all over the place. So he's not really going to that bubble screen directly when you are not pass committing, which could get him in a really, really bad spot of getting blocked during that RPO. Now, let's go ahead and put that pass commit mechanic to play. The way that you're gonna bring that up is if you click on the R1 or the RB button, depending on your console, and you're gonna go ahead and click up on the right thumbstick. You see right there, we've got coverage adjustments, and it says over top. That's what we want. Now, while pairing all three of these tips, you're now gonna see that the outside linebacker and the run game is going to be absolutely locked down on this RPO. Now, let's go ahead and remember back to the first rep to where we did not pass commit and our outside linebacker was kind of all over the place. Now with this rep, we are pass committing, and look how much better this is playing for us. As soon as that ball is hiked, he's not moseying on around. He's not playing merry-go-round or ring around the rosy. He is darting out to that bubble to ensure that he can get to it if the ball happens to be passed. And then when you end up pairing the location of your user with the baseline tip, you see that we've got every aspect of this RPO bag. Thanks for swinging by today's YouTube video on how to stop any RPO in the game. Please start using these 3 tips and you're not gonna have any issues going forward with any sort of RPO.